We have something called that when the currency or when the cedi appreciates, you have re-rating or repricing is slower. So on the liability side is slower than when on the asset side. What that means simply is that when the cedi is tanking or when the cedi is taking a hit, people change the prices quickly. But when it starts to appreciate, it takes a while for them to reprice, because that even goes to show the level of confidence of people in the economy. So we think that for certain general goods and services, it's not going to change. People are probably going to hold their prices at that level. So what you are going to enjoy is a sense of stability, not that you are going to see prices go back. And I'm not talking for fuel. I hear fuel prices have already come down. That has a political connotation to it. So the masses are very sentimental about things like that. But I'm talking about maybe your fun milk that you buy, or the milk that you buy, the frozen yogurt you buy, staple foods generally. When things go up, they don't tend to come down in our economy. What you will get is that if the currency remains where it is, we are going to see some stability. And that is good generally for you to be able to budget and plan ahead. I think that if the central bank comes in with a proper plan, roll it out, and we know it's addressing all the issues fairly and squarely, then investors are going to have more confidence. I talk to international investors a lot, and I can say from a scale of 10 investors that I talk to in a day, or probably let's say you talk to 40 or 50 in a week, so far it's just about 2 that think that things are turning constructive. The bulk still feel like you guys are way off. So just on that knowledge, investors are long-term as well. So in as much as the short-term is good, they are thinking, well, this thing can be over in about 2 or 3 months, and then we are back to where we are. So I think that the plan is to address all those bits and pieces.
Well, so Yasaba, Edamina Master Gusu Bedroom on Adom TV, Multi TV, so the man in Kwabna Sante, non Kuno Pepe, and I have forced by the transfer the FSM Ebebro. My main car will text message line here 1760 Fabre. Now, Yanji Brain to make Canina and Fa and Mao. Yachio be gratitude bill, Yada Ayanana Kundias Elmina, Aya Mahine, Nano da Bakatui, also the Akogu Kama. Yada was Yachio. Said the Okoswa Elmina, my Okwanson Kosakra. Now, me had man out here, we are so, and out here, Chairman, William Mike say, or Damasipi, Kwamba Faso, Germany Papa, Copper and the Crabia, we had the gospel music, so to Kama, and so by Bia Corso, Kama. Weekend way, Sunya Domase, George, Chief Executive, Checkers Business Enterprise, and I hear Usubuating, to Donald for our brand here, Ono Hokeni, Naomi Yana see ye, Usubati, Ununia George, Onsumoya Mamie, I was Sunya Domase, Memendawe, about time watching our question. National Organizer, New Patriotic Party, Aquaba, Nemo Boko there. So, you better come on.
Boko.
Okay. Deputy Minister, MP, Jabuso, Boko there.
I mean, I don't Boko.
A lot of text messages back about roads, and for instance, a discussion on Upper Digital West. Fortunately for us, now, DC, and Nimian for Benjamin Iowa, it was centered around those areas, and the challenges are more, and amongst them, Aquani Bia, another door now, more text or more friends, so they have indeed challenges with Makoyabako, and then even matters about cocoa, Ibinimusu says a doc, Upuni, Shisha, or Diaba, Nene Kwambinsu, or Fasuno, and Shada and Kui, Emma. Nobody. Sir Unimudia, I think, sir, I'll have to let you help me out. National Organizer, it's quite unfortunate, sir. A lot of speculation, rumor. The name of ours is to protect your integrity. A baby, I bring such opportunities. I have a lot of these text messages And then, fortunately, some of the papers are trying to bring those issues up. A lot of the papers.
Issues,
after tenancy apathy. After tenancy. Oh, no. It's all clear. You know, you had the opportunity when it was a dining hall preferred to clear yourself. So you're twisty. After tenancy, apathy grips MPP. Flag bearer zooms off to UK. Afoko, Japan loyalist, fear another plot. And Akufo-Addo's 3-week visit to MPP UK branches. Afoko, Japan ouster due as National Council convenes. And the other one is all over. Yama Jombo do Sikabi. And I want to now I'm reading it here. Utiko feature moment 200 Ghana cedi. So on a man 200 Ghana cedi. And I'm wondering where these people will get all this information and then they will put it out there. John Akwaba, anyway, how was Talency? What transpired? And as I see, Kebi almost say what Yadiama and what's to say. What is your position?
Good morning.
Morning, John.
And say Juma Juma Uhia Nkofwa to me I trust omo ye honest. Na omo do party no. And so wait me I am an aye. Na on say Ejuma why she ya udi nkofo bi echi a obeke kansem na at the end of the day no party na nkasa ahoɔden ne nenum nyam abafom because of nkofo to say omo party nim na menji ne say yankwara omo party no mpanyinfo pa na omo yesa so if you say party for instance first of all say by election bar the area say immediately ebi a steering committee ebe free na ya dwen ho say ye ne den national organizer program ben na wo arrangement for primaries ye be ye any actual program I de beko. This is what is normally done. And probably no for us for a very long time and yes steering committee in national executive committee for a very long time.
Who's supposed to do that?
3 months near national executive.
Who's supposed to do that? So in terms of calling for a national...
Or send the chairman a free meeting.
Okay.
Or I'm free by the nature of the constitution, you know. What mean you understand?
Then that's a decision.
There's nothing that you can do.
As it stands now.
There's nothing. What mean you flag bearer and to me free meeting.
A percentage of the quorum cannot apply for...
No. What apply? By the constitution. You can apply, but he must accept. So, by one thing I be able to me I going forward, because the managers of the party are National Executive Committee. By the constitution of the party, no, at least every 3 months I'll say one National Executive Committee, at least. And for instance, say ABA for 3 months, managers of the party which I can say, after they check, say every 2 months and every Friday of every 2 months, you know, national executive. This is steering committee. They are responsible for the daily, overseeing the daily administration of the party. So, over the years, every week, you know, maybe every Tuesday, you know, steering committee. This time, you know, and this the managers, national executive committee can say, I say, what your friend is saying. All Students Association. All Students Association, so me a president of All Students Association. Now every month, every Friday of the last, every last Friday of the month, All Students Association meeting. Me I shout to us, the president I'm about to be me, and I'm see to me she said this idea, and there's this way no menjini say a bit to me abasosa. And until no one aspect of the issues. The second aspect is that as national organizer, me yet be programmer, I present it to the General Secretary. When I hear extensive discussion in terms of the strategy, there be which I did.
In this case, you did.
Yeah,
you have been doing it. So
I do it all the time. You understand? All the time, because the national organizer report directly to the General Secretary. Into every program I may hear. There's no way I can go to the treasurer for funding to be made available without going through the General Secretary. And it's possible, which I do all the time. You understand? So on the talent thing, I did.
With the consent of the General Secretary?
May say I did. You understand? In federals to that, the General Secretary immediately after that, it too quite. Almost this anime, some person would see, and they are listening, and they are not ashamed of themselves. They are watching me. They are not ashamed. You understand? And they will continue to do these things. A brown call forward ground. Nyama omukum. Any party juma omoye. Momo tenkran ha. Now we issue messages. Edem call for. If they are men, they should come and sit here with me. If they are men. You understand? If they are men. I did that. Thank God. The Thursday, the candidate was in town. Before then, I call primaries. Yeah, primaries Sunday. The Saturday, my brother we. So now I was saying, me share. Now me no. Every na me back near koye. The friend is saying 1 week, But before, I was saying, you know, so I was go. So luckily now, candidate what town. I was saying, me kohun nanado. General Secretary or send in the Parliament to talk to parliamentarians because almost so a baba bois. Thank God the chairman was available. The men call national chairman. Am I go through the budget one by Sana de some of them chairman Grand Casa Adi details of what I did. And these details simply we say pooling agents, training of pooling agents, their allowances, having rallies. Even rally pro, for instance, me putting in to have 2 rallies. Me provide this. I mean, so local setting, the whole year rally, and who here elaborate PA system being in them. I wouldn't be more, but and yet to say the air there wouldn't be the need for massive decoration of the place, bathing of people. To be provided, so 5,000 per rally. Yeah, first rally. No? Yeah, was Shega. Son the vice president have a rally with her. Shega no eastern part of the constituency. Constituency was natural 3 zones. Eastern part of the constituency. Now, as the vice president, Shega no eastern part. No, there were 33 polling stations. Inti vice president by a rally no all corner no more 3,300 NDC. Inti each polling station 1 million. Mr. a provision for 5,000 for 2 major rallies. Inti that day now I have a lot of things to do elsewhere. Inti me this kind of my organizer non fine. Me say owie no komu kuno ho. Say ya be me who be that. Come my brother say rally pa ye polling station officers are demanding to be given transport back. You don't believe it. Or buy a bill or the bremen, additional best 7,000 plus 5,000. No. Second rally, I'm deciding. We all heard about the challenges we had with the police. To the extent, says Saturday, best of 4 p.m. as a police no Ejitu Muse. Or mobile allow a rally. And we are doing the rally at a place and a stronghold cry in the concert. Win Goku. You're winning order. This time we won there. Oh, Yama, we organizer. Yama between 4 p.m. to Adechin 2 p.m. to do a rally. Why a provision of 5,000? Which one is a rally? No. Immediately I have to call for all electoral area coordinators. We had about 21 of them. We decided, some of them now pay 50-50. We started Kasa here, we open floor. But I could sorry. ade de aye emergency pa afi ne yaba e wo say o kasa ntempo ne yakọ but you need to resource us enough because ye koi afi ne ko say ko magajia ne kan we kire no e be opinion leader bi ye kan youth group leader so say me ti ho a me ma ye ne say oh ye impe 50-50 bi emfa mo omo no na I have to revise my notes because one share you demoralize because they are the leadership of the party at that point and you want them to make people available for your rally the following day. I have to quickly do something for them to be happy, for them to be able to go back. Shega rally American was the PA system was virtually not a PA system. So flag bearer that day catch and say, young PA system, Papa. In the whole of Upper East, you can't get a very good PA system. I have to get somebody to go to Tamale to bring between that time and the time we did. And not quite 5,000. Transported over high generator. One copy, I'll say uncle. One copy, I'll say uncle. Even 20,000 I'm a year for the major rally. You know, your organizer, you know what happened? While arranging with long buses, HSika Amomo said on Baby Fine. I did change out go Jina Hano Palm to the Sika at the back said, O Menya, Konomo, O Cownes, say, that will come over with you. And as of they gave virtually the back money. I'll say a pay additional and make catch though, yeah? Oh, demonstration, I'm here, I cry. And you look at the numbers. Demonstration here or Borgano, almost 1.5 times expensive than the demonstration here or Accra. You know why? Why? Because even getting vehicles from our Pusiga, Nkofo Banofi, other areas and some Pusiga. Pusiga car fee Borga na Kohona Samba. In 2% nipa no kofa sanko for also one maybe 2 days cry we are on yejuma we unim your friends the transportation cost alone for sa demonstration here was close to about 50,000. Will you believe that? But if you are not involved, you won't understand. You understand? It's the American chance say even 5,000. You want to see no more bono. I'm saying 450. Oh, me more. Who's a man actual budget na me here. Nti omu nim amount. I don't say sir. I'm telling you what it is.
But why would your party people go after you? Why are they?
They won't. Maybe some of them feel say I am closer to the flag bearer. That's a fact. But I have no option.
Now you're closer to the flag.
I have no option.
National organizer, when you are closer to the flag.
I have no option because he is our candidate. Why I mean you're closer to? Why I mean you're why the air turn?
Seconds maybe a visible force.
Why I mean you're closer to?
Yeah.
Me man another example. See, Omo church was in Samuel. Figure no man who knows how. Take it from me, and I'm telling you, figure no man who knows how. Actual, for instance, maybe by the time here now for security, internal security, put together DNA allowance more money. I was looking at say, on the day now we are assign
party for no. Me say, okay. The question is, party need penny say, if you had gone to Chelsea when it became clear that the seat would be vacant, you wouldn't have faced these challenges. It is very costly to finance a budget on last-minute basis.
The only event nipa cross send on. So only event a lead to all these things. Look, on the day Adams who here, if they want to hear, they will hear.
Party penny.
Yo, party penny. Oh man, and unfortunately for them, no, I'm somebody they cannot. They cannot because they me it's in the open. On the day Adams who here, me, I was going to Bolga on Wednesday. Now me here BB with some embassy be. Na Saturday no, a delay me to me uncle. To be fair, Adams, around 7:30, 8:30. Catch and say, Mr. No, the time of that is Thursday and Opano. On far car and family. The first meeting we're going to have was in Telensi. To meet all the polling station executives, meet the constituency executives, meet opinion leaders. Now you be a nomination at that time. That day you know, you expect say, got one about what? You understand? After all, I'm not the chairman of the party, or I'm the organizer of the party. You understand? I'm the organizer of the party. But we can't be so essential. But we can't be essential. Almost answer any bill. But if they are men, Nipa cross your bema, catch and say, me say, young Bonnie, he will be ashamed of himself. Maybe one typical example of reason I make catch yourself. Figure now who create so on security, internal security for our people. Me and say on the day, ena omumra. Area no. But looking at the issues on the ground, and then near be a course on. Near be a course on the protection of our people on the ground. Now, some bantem. Look, your boys fee ha or mobile. Yechi or more tamale. Tamale, we decided it's a northern region providing and just about 20 people. Yechi, your boys are young jai or mono. I have to increase the numbers. Someone nearly 50 immediately. And they should come days before because we had some that day. Group of by elections and now group of boys they go move but any security apparatus worth a sort who stop them. And you need to change the route. They don't understand these things. They sit in Accra. If I catch them, me. And all these things I did it with officials of the party available there. Many Dambuchi, there's nothing. There's nothing in what I did. Dambuchi, unsanctioned, and I agree to do. And in doing a lot of these things, for instance, who are constituency? The constituency secretary, me send you BB just now. The constituency secretary of Talensi, fantastic. If you have a constituency secretary, now he's so conscientious about what to do. The deni neman demon share choleta koha. You see, me pe document me. Sani pano uma obia executives na 500 or no over man the endorsement. And this one you don't announce it. This I'm the organizer of the party. No, me personally, considering the oil, the constituency chairman goes with the candidates or meeting opinion leaders or spending a lot of money on his own. Such a person, my constituency force, government together. You give him more than necessary. Look, maybe polling agents are, yeah. Eventually, maybe can't be actual. And you are dealing with me, and I make sure I do things that have to be done. This is the constituency secretary. As I say, I have paid up all the agents except that 11 agents who were recruited on the had earlier showed up.
Where's the miss?
And I had to use the remaining 300 Ghana cedis. It was 74 polling stations. But me man agency me man 80 polling. That is how it is done. Because but on my paper, I make sure 74. But as an organizer, I mean, it's so many difficulties. Obi oko polling station or because of koi. So as constituency secretary, I need to provide him with enough fund problem bar between me teacher. What did the catch him? Or say 300 na a bro so no. Or sign the amount of phobia amu year near my B. And no prono answer me coffee that. And no prono answer. Yes, Ujiri says I may accounts amawa. My church I'll just write this. And look, if almost pepper details of whatever was done, and you see. But at the end of the day, me yes, na almost the almost panel say to make sure say we are distracted from what we are doing, to make sure say we will not keep focus and project Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as our candidate to ensure victory. Now my distracted, and it creates problems for everybody involved.
Okay.
Because for instance, say Obi your NDC chairman, now for one reason or the other, now me nene etin komobi. Now based on komono or koye bibi amamia. Now me money 2,000, for instance. Now my throw give NDC chairman. Now my throw 2,000. You know what I've done? Virtually what I've done is that nobody will trust John Boydu or the MPP anymore. Or Mao Bibia onto more information because his also position is at risk. I did obey a man, yes, so giant NDC. But because it be a difficulties be a whole community, and I be a and a person also proves say he is strong and is capable of putting together a defense for himself.
Okay.
You understand? See, Mr. Omo, maybe they are getting wrong people to attack. But if it's about John Boydu, it is the Omoka Women Organizer. We have documents of Secure called Youth and Women's Wing. What we did was I made provision for the wings. But I didn't give money to say Samuel Okuji 10,000. Say provision, my friend said 10,000, 20,000. Samuel Okuji 20,000. That's what I catch them and say, what's anything? You know. So what I did, unfortunately for him, he was not available. Timiko and the regional youth organizer, who program our person here wing, or the program in the bar at a review meeting. What they are buying in yeah, this is relevant. Yeah, advances come. Who share youth? Maybe I share a 6-7 youth basis. Who share be our 100 Ghana as we say almost the beton name. What the bar actual names? Yeah, agree. It's at the end of the day, even the budget that I made for the wings,
okay.
Almost spending more than depending on the importance of what is being done. Mr. Omo, there's something that I think initially they were getting it wrong. Say, oh, I then I'm by election now. Finance committee approve budget.
Yeah. The finance committee did not approve your budget.
The finance committee don't have to approve my budget. I'm the national organizer of the party. What finance committee does, the role of the finance committee, is that why the composition? That's page 39. One kind of wrongly. They read it wrongly and interpret it wrongly. Page 39 of our constitution. 5A, a kind about finance committee for purposes for them. The finance committee shall consist the finance committee shall consist of the national treasurer and 6 other members, who, including the chairperson, shall be appointed by the National Council on the recommendation of the national chairperson. The national treasurer shall be secretary to the finance committee. 2. It shall be the duty of the finance committee to raise funds necessary to finance the operations of the party in conformity with the applicable laws. It shall report on its activity to the national. The finance committee will raise funds for the operations of the party. Then the second one, the finance committee shall, at the beginning, the finance committee at the beginning of each financial year, in the starting financial year, approve and submit for decision into approval. Submit for decision by the National Executive Committee budgetary estimate prepared by the National Treasurer on the running of the party. Until you have started afina, the Treasurer, who is the Secretary to the Finance Committee, have prepared budgetary estimates for the party's operations for the year. Not the Finance Committee. approve the treasurer no aya before a treasurer be no all the spending departments of the party no emano program for the year. So it's approve what happened. The constitution say for a decision of the national executive. If you approve budget now, you now take a decision. The decision is taken by a national executive. For instance, in a by-election like this, the finance committee should have envisaged that there will be by-election. Because this function of DS is done at the beginning of the year. In January, all the budget estimates, more they are called. You understand? More they call. Properly speaking, say way, for instance, it was not envisaged that there will be a by-election. Until there was no estimate approved by finance committee for a decision of national executive. For instance, say yeah budget near per se finance committee approval. When the finance committee approve, the decision will be taken by who?
John, it shall be the duty of the finance committee to raise funds necessary to finance the operations of the party in conformity with the applicable laws. Does it mean that you are not somewhat responsible? Say,
they may kind of say, first of all, that function is for them to raise funds. But who raise funds in conformity with our applicable laws? For instance, foreigners don't have to contribute to the running of our party. Do be sure say, Sika obeji nyina no, ebe laws, political party law, fundraising and funding, you respect the laws. That is one. Two, at the beginning of each financial year, through the national treasurer, or the budgetary estimates for the financial year, Ebeko Finance Committee. Almost approve, I'll say approve, and a decision. Decision now, a follow approval, a National Executive Committee.
The Finance Committee shall, at the beginning of each financial year, approve and submit for decision by the National Executive Committee budgetary estimates.
The Finance Committee need authority via say or approve budget, not a decision. It is not a decision. So, for instance, at this by-election, Senka steering committee now you generating budget from there. Yeah, so because I'm telling you proper ways of running this thing. Finance committee only raise this can. Now we raise this can. Also raise the can. Go raising any amount.
Two quick ones now for national issues.
No,
two quick ones. Please ask him. Then who approves his budget? Who is he accountable to? Are his activities not operational? And another one also comes through here, says that on the issue of he and Adams, why didn't he go with GS and NC? NC is the national chairman. And is it true he was booked on the same day with GS and NC to travel to Bolga?
These are dead.
Is my national organizer not on the ground to have known that the seat would be vacant? Is he not in touch with his MPs? Please ask John when he presented his budget.
These people tie them make a concern is a message. They will tie them make care. But we pre-arranged questions I was here bisa. Because these are matters we've dealt with it over and over again. They are making say, if the finance committee by approval, approve any decision. Properly speaking, approval of budget, the decision of it will be done by National Executive Committee.
Okay.
You understand? But this one, like I told you, I went through, did the budget, discussed with the General Secretary. General Secretary asked that on the National Chairman, Adom, the candidate was in town. So I had a discussion with National Chairman. Look, even before this budget, I've had extensive discussion with the flag bearer, with treasurer, with almost everybody. Parliamentary caucus. You know, parliamentary caucus had their input in what was that.
Okay, so
because Parliament for no so buy almost expenses are almost in care, and can't we home.
Okay. Deputy Minister, there are not a situation about a colleague Deputy Minister the text message by. Why is it that one party in another why?
Did you mention a TF4 near her for in Danopoi? Now, Mamma Casa
Nana Boomer Kama.
Okatachi Boomer. So you also traditional area, my hen. Nana Mechiao. It is not in my nature, say, agree a ye, and as a Juma ye, yen politics, no. Maybe or why, Rebecca Simbi, Ato, so any no cray. Na also befa kwanya ne wa chechrim eba ne sa umfa ne se nipa ne se be o MPP ntino na wo hwe carries and as a petrol guso bebre because it happens to almost all of us me the bia mekano my rising from the constituency to deputy regional youth organizer and into the okay nyina na bia ne wa emwa so at as e bia ne wa if really party in party organization the truth of the matter ne say enya dia obetimi account for sekani nyina. Even say the mount say ebia kona kotua polling agents ka near the anop pepe mawa obekɔ no bɛbɔ kaka ho ebi wɔ okra bɛfa wani so nti gire sabi impreduasa obi a oti buku so ye politics so wo ye sabi krasi ni se na me krasi ni a my ye organization of the party that the we can obeti ase you understand but the actually nyina ne say ye nyina as political parties am me enye hypocrite because ye nim game no we know what goes into what nti say ye nyina ye koye we nyina ba na obi political party ba ko be huri gira chance so no ka say NDC for akọ spend this car so na say a creative impression be say look party be there or no the end there say o mobile rally ne kra na amafo nante no mobile they didn't spend a peso. Nti sa nema we nyina eba it exposes you. So look, and that's when you can what say.
But let me draw attention. National chairman, they know the DB or Kase, or no, the reality no painted DB. Also, there are certain things like you are saying.
Yeah.
National organizer.
Yeah.
Also, there are certain things that won't even for.
Yes, I agree. And I catch on. I agree. My catcher said I have been organizer of my party in the region before, and my parliamentary candidate that. What I say, inti metiase, I party organization, the organization na metiase. So, but sometimes ebi ono onka. So, but na disheartening. Say, ni maybe wa untumi imagine bontenka na party ba ko bi ye pese unko ade o NDC for na me by NDC for blow 80 million Ghana cedis. I talency. I mean, this kind of things, you know, why here, I bet for some work.
You are no more 100, or the lorry fare. Now you also to your 500, yeah. And then the embassy, no, 100 times 2, not times 4.
No, even if, no, even if, so Otria TNT, now him so be able to TNT, irrespective of amount of being a year practice over TNT. Why complain?
It's more manageable, you know. How can I pay 100 and you pay for 500?
Or I catch you say the above continue crash. I catch you say the above continue be a camasem and the crash. So it means that Omo cats are about NDC. They don't even know the actual their party.
Okay.
Let alone to tell them some manage.
Okay.
So I just say, that is what I'm saying. Say about the sana, but say I get back where in the political party, especially intra-political party organization. They say, Ube kuhu. Now I are there in the interest of the party. Now one castle party ni. No jam baby.
No boy.
No hey yes. MPP ni NDC dey say masa. We are there ya. Your baby me NDC na your baby MPP ni fe. So I say no. And how do you be brave? Says Anima. But they test you. Exactly.
Party.
Yes, it happens. It happens. Because we judge you man to sanko for na be say there boachi. Say you who wo. Nti sometimes we are party near sometimes no sabi abusuansem no you are the last person to deal with abusuansem me take here ebia 2 months some papa ka say free ebia akrase ama me samia no hu me da my and the night before we came on said now okay me yere I be about 2 weeks now no oma so me the nti that is party organization for you. Ubeye we nyina we party official say na ebe ya o party be ba tumi mu na de yesi we nya bibia ma wase a unse akobone krono e bia de o ye no untumi nya bi na fei o bone yam so I mean we have all gone through before we are all party people but it tells you say and yeah, then MPP start name and commune ebedwo. They need in fact they need more than 8 years to solve their internal problem. I'm telling you, mark it on the wall. I don't better last week better catch us say the both free MPP move about the general secretary and the chairman Uji Matinye, and then read the papers. The same story.
No, but national organizer. So I say there's no cause for them. The man clarifies something ni pa kasa.
Yeah, waha. Say visible forces by ye amount for a kind or man at the end of the day, demonstrating and that the broad daylight will be a win. So it means that in MPP Nankasano, what is the able panel? They need to sit down internally to organize very well. Now, almost smoking the peace pipe and start the crowd almost have and take us on a campaign.
Okay, John.
Oh, got by lesson. We didn't second the 7 call, or chairman 7 call. Look. Before.
Did you listen to John's interview?
Oh, NDC for.
No, but it's a by-election, so other than more NDC, is more.
Massa in the history of Ghana, by-elections be trace the records. Said major political parties, at least general secretary or chairman, Bako, was also office. Throughout the period, trace the records, and then they be look. One time I didn't wind it up. So NPP first. Oh, the course who NDC mu there, Mokrampo there, kankai. But at that by-election, I was extremely happy, say, irrespective of their differences. Say, Massa, we don't have to be friends before we work in a political party to pursue the agenda of the party. But look at Koku Anyidoho and Kofi Adams. At every point in time, and mean to me was a strategical. They put you in the same and next security on the social media near they some more differences there. What about the party for the so now my dear,
yeah, go try home, John. Quick one, we try home. We try home, bro.
We're about for the lion. But almost sending messages. Almost say this is the canon for that you provide.
Yeah.
And who's that? It's my sonny baby so. My sonny baby so. And I'll continue to do that. But maybe I mean sonny so forever. That's my problem. Don't be any part. You understand? Yeah.
But see, see now
Well, we are back. A lot of your text messages about NJ Brenya Kenya, one of you called the Cedi Stability, and what's the meaning of Badwam, and farmers in Seshi, Kojina and Nambru, correct? Kojina and Nambru.
Kojina.
Bekwa district do not have access to free fertilizer program. Please, Omani, help us to get access to fertilizer cocoa farms. And if they are able to come out with the amount NDC spent at Talency, they should find out the amount MPP also spent at Talency too, by John Oboase. Omane, are we really safe in this country? In fact, absolutely nothing under this government is going on well. From Raman El Techiman. And this was you people are looking good today. May the good Lord bless you and your good work. From Masaud Muhammad. Omane, an individual's wishes can never be God's wishes. Therefore, absolutely nothing can change Nana to become president in 2016, Raman or Techiman. If President Mahama wants to win 2016 election, then he has to pay the arrears of teachers who worked for more than 2 years but received only 3 months' salary. Good morning, Omaina. Our senior officers are killing us. Ghana National Fire Service, we need help from you. Thank you. And tell Joabuso MP to be honest of what he says about MPP when he's on the platform. Anyway, I like him. From Edu Jemfi, John Bodu, you shall be president. Amen. From Kingsley. And from VIP BBN, please tell Mr. Kano that the propaganda is enough. He should for once tell the truth for Mother Ghana and stop lying in favor of NDC for position's sake. And John Bodu, with this separation, can we win 2016? Amani, please tell John Bodu to be careful and watch his talk because the Bulgar Bulldogs are watching you. Okay? You see how ungrateful John Bodu and the MPP is. How can you say there is hardship in the country but use over 5,000 for a demonstration which ends, Pessoa? No. Demonstrations ends something. It makes impact. It tells government to do whatever they think he's not doing it right. na China ewo fatao na China or tamale na diaba. Our candle is not on top about cocoa roots and projects. He should know its roots ministry that awards root contract, not cocoa board. I want to be differentiated.
Cocoa board. No, sir, I'm not on top. Me, I will not discuss. You not said anything about it. But you can send in advance.
Text messages 1760. I'm sorry, can't about
in advance.
What's now called a cocoa? I
saw call funny.
Oh, John Wood.
They can do better.
Oh, John Wood.
No, they can do better.
Oh, John Wood.
Yeah, they can do better.
Cedi Stability linked to BOG's $20 million intervention. The Deputy Trade Minister said the government and the central bank decision to pump $20 million a day of the country's reserves into the economy has largely contributed to the stability of the cedi. I will not continue. But John, to us now the overall hope is any person do also the bank rate the Bank of Ghana, US dollar, pound sterling. US dollar buying 333. Selling 3336, and pound sterling buying 51691, and then selling 51759.
Now the thing say exchange rates they determine demand and supply of availability of the rate of the currency. So to say Ghana say you need dollars from say cocoa cotton, say timber ton. Oye kakra ye tui ene export ayeye say ye to dollar zone ye nya dollars na ye spend dollars ewo niema ye tofi amanone by our own traders internally and government any repayment of our debt say in dollar rated nti say at any point na sika ye nya no eswa sen sika ye nya no eswa sen eka ye bo editor dollar niema na ma price ne kosoro gentia price ne kosoro ne say because say niema na ewo dollar ewo ho ni swa ninti no say for instance we per dollar cca because nipa mienu na per dollar ninti no say 1.1 a make say 1.2 sa na ekosoro sa normal demand and supply function now over the years no because say yankasa export base ne ability to raise dollars on our own no debiano your friend is saying in finance workers say your balance of payments and in terms of trade and share that you're positive in it debiana there's pressure on the cedi against the dollar now answer now be solve no e o say o tumi bo modern say niema we ya unya dollars no ube ye no more no we nya dollars and now say as Bank of Ghana, omoye regulator of our monetary policy, ebe decided say, ebi aye reserve aye wono ye di begum. From the trade minister, deputy trade minister ekano, na che say ye reserve aye wo ana sika aye wono.
This can I say kum.
Ena ye di gum.
As I say kum.
Ebi any say kum, depending on one kasa the obeye, and depending on what government policy is. And the direction government wants to go. And as to whether government person or sustain say, is it possible say you benye sika every day near the $20 million a gum to dampen the strength of the dollar against the cedi? You bet me I answer and also a different matter. But to me apart from this light information I hear from the trade minister, I don't know the overall objective of government in doing this now. You understand? Ebiana, you need that so say you pump 20 million per day for let's say 1 month. For 1 month, you are talking about 20 million per day, say per day, any weekend in film. For 5 days, you are talking about almost close to 100 million. For 5 months, you are talking about 500 million. Ebia, abeng your $500 million due for 5 months. Only after the 5th month, ebia cocoa purchase be back. $2 billion. Ebia, and also best sustaining here. Ebia, Sassican, best sustaining here for Ebia 2 weeks, and now 3 weeks, and now 1 month. By then, Ebia, you go, your oil, your ton, and also $100. This is entirely an arrangement for government. Anything I make a choice say sikana ho den eso etia. A government decision to make sure say eso empty. Say eso antin so a government decision. So this is a clear example of an intervention of government to make sure say sikana ho den no ebe kosoro. There can be and say mo bia expect say ya sikana ho den to the dollar no akọ
dollar na abafo
straight away no e bia milk bo ana atare bo ana bibia ye to a because the dollar no ho den ne ba form so beti sisia it takes a very long time to do. As for any so nya problem
because
for to say be the fool say and their political decision. You understand? They know the abibe to me at so cry in order to make the point. Say, oh, I so say me so matter so. You understand? And no say the political decision are individuals not based on economy. They take this decision. And no the obenya fool for Bobby to have a form. But send me Mako China. Ako me kono na cedi ni to the dollar na 4 cedis. Makoto niema no aba. Me sheta me de buy no me koso a e o say me turn 20 Ghana. Me nyanko China bi o niema no wa ha. It is a dollar ne so atisi a. Me turn 18 Ghana.
O boboka.
Me boka.
Jesus kan timi gina cha.
It is a gina cha. And you ejina cha. Me wie na me sesa sika e ko China bi o. Na sisi about 3.3. Me ba me kosta enye 20 Ghana biom. So me ba na me say me turn 20 Ghana, I'll be punished by the competition. Because obi so asesa sika ko at 3.3 no. Oba 16 Ghana.
You are
not on 16 Ghana. Me to me turn 20 Ghana. You understand? It enye immediate thing. It na me dream say for how long are we going to sustain this injection of additional funds into the economy? Say a cha, then everybody can now plan, say, at least for 6 months, meaning say you see can be stable. It may take you financial and investment decision. But to me, dream say there's a stability before us. Make to be a plan.
So we have doubts or suspicion over this stability.
It is not doubts, a reasonable expectation. A reasonable expectation say man hwe ye because man careful so na ebi am fan say me a good Samaritan businessman knowing say me koto no me kono na $1 to 4 cedis ben no yate so about 3.3 a lot of people are me know mo koto sa no almost stocks asa nti omo de omo sesa ne 3.3 no akoto aba don't want to me turn shirt no 1.8 for a very short time for a very short time I may be forced to reduce the price. But
the price
no because me lose. But to for how long na me to and the fact also is that I was say almost 3.3 CCR. It's also enough to be able to push the price down. These are things, I believe, say the finance ministry and its economic managers, discussing these things, being open about the reality, and confidence and kasa in the area. Obi to me will say, oh, we will be able to sustain this for 6 months. Say sanity dia me so be a businessman me who say oh say me boka kra ade na me turn 20 no kra no ade am be to sustain him for 6 months intin dia me so see kra because nya ade a so e be kosoro so that me boka kra mo dey but make me a profit in the long run.
Okay.
So I think say the PR aspect of Ministry of Finance need to come out boldly and be clear about these things. When we are clear about these things, discussion now. It helps everybody because it's not about whether in DC or power and say economy good. Now, Cedi a depreciation. It's like, for instance, to say inflation. Normally, we say that inflation is like a toothpaste. What toothpaste? So, about out here, very difficult. Until it is in our collective interest to make sure that there's stability in the system. The system can be relied on for planning, for decision making, and all that.
Oh,
yeah. Edi kan say as papa say yina beda sorry ni ate say Cedi na ho de no say our name major international trading currencies no esia kan yi as Cedi na nya ho de. Nti first and foremost Ghana ni bia obetie no you should rather be happy than say cast doubt on whether or not say a best sustaining for a very long time. Now your courses and your niema was a ye na yama Cedi no ahode no so agina ye ebi eye se sabi yebe exporto niema bebre sin se ebe importo niema nti Cedi na ahode no aban wo chefa wom e na ye ntimamufo no so ye wo chefa wom obi a wo chefa wom a wo se eboa na Cedi no efa ne ntoma pa eden efra se sabi yeti oman mu na se yesi aduane a yedie no emo no ye be kra de bebre efra amanone ni agya yen aye de no na ye ni de no a eno no ebetuma Cedi no ahoden no akofom se ne osika yen no demand and supply issue nti ye besesan ye Cedi no e de akot $, and san etimi de akra sa niema no na emom sa aban betumi aye ne se going forward, and that's a long term. Aban betumi e de nhyehyɛ papa bi aba se ene meso won mu du emo wo ha na se na ma omatumi aye emo ne bebre ma at least ye ntumi a export bi kra na ye di ama ehu nkohia se ye be import emo se ye wura president kuja parliament no ka kire se asichie dodo a ye kra nie anu nti no ye tsena isasika dodo se ni de kokra asichire a na se aban betumi aye ne se ene ye mpe factory bi e wo man mu na ye ntumi produce asichire of course aban eye poultry ye nyina ye nim se poultry product ye kra fra manone no edoso yi isika ye bi nti ma ye hia $, ne more nti Cedi na ho de no eso beti nti da ban betimi aye ne se ekwan be na me fa so a e betimi nya poultry product ne be bre o man mu as ye ntumi export bi kra na e be so ye o man mu nti aban se ye fra bibi operation $2 million project a $20 million project why ye no awie no o se okay ene ma me fa policy bi mra na wo no mo wo o man mu o mo ye nye nkokọ no so munya market no na aban the policy bi aba se obekra nkokọ kra poultry product fra ma no ne kra na to 30% free 40% you are into that industry better than you understand that one better than I do. To 40% free local farmers no and some am akwa mo akra 60%. That's a good policy. The aban betumi aye binum nie. So what I say aban be so kokọ kua yomu den se ne be ya kokọ no ebetumi aden na besumi asomu den ye the free fertilizers ama kokọ akuafo se ne be ya yields no ebe kosoro ni yetimi anya $, and say trading currencies international ones bebre asense ne yen ye de ko sa anyema we nyina na ye no omahene anya ade a ebetumi ne results ne betumi aye flat ochena. So what I say ebetumi aye flat ochena nti ebetake some time and sana yetimi hu the benefit of the ye nyina na menu ne kan aban so betumi strategize hu se sabi se ye see demand no ekosoro bebre na se Cedi na hoden beti akofom dia enya sa demand no ye ma ne mra bebre supply ne mra bebre na atwete demand no se ne be ya Cedi ne be den be fa ne ntoma pa e de afra so hu nti sa ne ma we nyina ye ne ma ma Cedi no na hoden no ejina pin. Again there is this argument say look say obi kokra ne ma mra na Cedi ne na hoden no enwie peyo no ene na se Cedi na hoden ebegina yie ochena eno nche se wo so tene ne ma so because of boka. I agree, but there's another argument. The other argument ne say sa na tie dia se Cedi na hoden no so eye so hu na akokra ne ma enne na ochena wo sa stock ne wo na ochena Cedi na hoden so take ofoma adenji na won ka say tema me ne ma yidie na Cedi na hoden ne ye na me kokra ye enti no mente so me mfa boni bi nka ho nti mento nwi ansana. What you will say as a businessman, they say so me kokra bia ebo no wo so nti batum nti ye balance equation in as much as me agree say nipa be boka no se Cedi na hoden so ye yie so a e wo se ye hu ye recognize sa ade no but in this country the ye hu ni say Sadia no a year, Cedi na ho de ne year, ye kokra ne ma na e kosoro a ye pre ye ho atum. But Cedi na ho de esote de a ene ye mpese bete so. Ni nyina na ye menu mienu ene wo se di adwen bom. Ni ye man ni ye emwa. Again,
no
problem.
As a businessman, say Cedi na ho de so 80 against the dollar. In determining your cost, no, you make provision for say
any unexpected
fantastic. It instead of say and 3.8, any proper businessman obey the welcome as a 4 Cedi to 4. Because yes, sir, over 3.8 no,
yeah, I agree with you. And I'm saying I'm a kaka who say why we catch over boka into the beka home. So what I say. But you see, say ye per se to me move for not say a bra Cedi na ho de no atitia pansam ne dia. At least the rate at which I did be crack on, I manage. But ye too much happen yet me too money match it. Samre no Cedi na ho de no be akwa do bia in this country. And I may be what problem with it no. And I be so say or say oh sa buying babontin na say on mo yesi ka hye no e wo mo nsem babontin no mo be chechiri mu say ne Cedi na fa no to my peripheral na de ade a boost confidence in the economy. Yes, I agree, but there's another argument to it say so babontin na obe chechiri mu fenchem sa nso a yesi ebra obobofo no opese oku anoma no abra o mese no na anoma no so pese otu abra onyina kra ma bobofo no yeden. So there is that probability of being so able to me strategize against because 6 months now we're planning at the Abetuja. Okay, it means that 6 months later no, the city will dip again.
You don't put your strategy out.
Exactly. If you are managing an economy and your strategies you are put you out there. And your strategies it is
but prescribe the open frank type
of course, papers here. For example, the deputy minister for trade said American few papers in about throw some light on it. Going forward, me GDA say about paying for being so babontin be true. But to me funny you know oh, because you are discouraging people from holding the dollar. Swat I say. You must put that fear in the people say don't hold the dollar. Because anything at all can happen at any given time. So I yes, I know the need enough fencing, but you just oh this time it is expected. Say, see then what debate me at the okay, but you do business all right by getting there, no $100 no. Okay. And then that will also negatively affect our economy. And to be GDA say, I was saying no, I mean me diga na duane. Because aban be ye de obeye bia no say mo no Ghana mo no kra odwaman so. As I was say won pa aban to me for so. So you see it oman mu, for example, ye de say bi by say nanka wo oman mu a ye ma kwan ma nko yi the bit said dollars and begin with my of course I'm not for with the rigid with resistance say it is idea more dollars but pass near the other but that policy no was to regulate the amount of dollars in our economy who do be so moye South Africa or moye so I say into me GDA say send everybody no aban e wani and so ade hunu me GDA say ye nyina ye mompaye na emayen empre ho prophecy doom so much. Right. But I believe say the economy will get stronger and stronger.
1760 text message line if I bring Jibril so into making camera. John Bodu, national organizer for the New Patriotic Party, a deputy minister, lands and natural resources, and MP Jabuso, Cabinet Kando, so Atlas discussion centered on Ghana, the stability of the city. A realm still, the issues about our elections in general in Ghana. This time, Dr. Papakwesi Indu, founder of the Progressive People's Party, raising serious issues relating to how our amount for continuously to be in poverty by our actions and inactions. And the best way out of it, and whether the party in question, PPP, probably in some almost there were other efforts on their part and demonstrating say almost for such entrenched positions. But my text message in 1760 February 19 Jibril 19 Kama non pepe EPJ moi. We are dying in this country. How the question is, how can we pay taxi? Is it taxi we want to say, or is it taxes? Which one of them? How can we pay taxi insurance of 300 Ghana cedi. In fact, many people can't pay, so they shall sell their taxi, and it may create a lot of unemployment for the youth. Shame to our leaders for creating these hardships in the country. Sami was shredded on there. But I tell the MPP members that they should learn to keep party issues internally than bringing them to the public. This is not normal than in the NDC. These MPP groups should put a stop to this immediately. Worse things happen in NDC, but we never hear of them. Godwin Osunyani Nojaba. Saboba DC, Mr. Aldov Ali now forms, okay, Debbie, I'm unable to just, so, hey, MPP, what is happening, what happened rather at Talensi and also the 1760 February. John, would you now grounds and Kasa? So I'm speak as you have always speak as a national person, like a national organizer too as well. No, Dr. Papakwesi Indum. Or say, Dr. Papakwesi Indum has said the strategy of vote buying, voter intimidation, and violence could entrench poverty and underdevelopment in the country. He condemned what he described as the politics of stealing, bribery, and violence ahead of the by-election in Talensi, and I quote, "I am convinced now more than ever that the politics of intimidation, violence, abuse of incumbency, the use of our tax money by the party in power, tribalism and vote stealing, if continued to 2016 and beyond, will condemn and entrench the majority of our people in poverty in all its forms. Poor housing, bad health, short lifespan, inferior education, diseases, and unemployment," he asserted. So, and he goes on and on. So, what was the experience like? Talensi, it's like
maybe reason from Talensi.
Yeah.
About the general Yankasa political environment. As we speak now, no, Mrano and restricted government from working at all period. And you know, we do elections, and now the intensity of government, Ministry of Roads and Highways activate quickly. Maslog is in full swing. Maslog, loans, full swing. Feeder roads, I feel no more acquiring seriously. A friend is saying free fertilizer. I feel a program. Enroll. You understand?
We are asking season when I was a fertilizer. Season season better fertilizer.
On your food. And your constituency on your food. Don't your food. And yet, unless you micro massive was you understand? All the 3 GB. Said the officer season. Micro massive was so man you are a mom must love.
No credit.
You see,
poverty problem.
A problem. Who's the say make can be very comfortable because ABR on a war ben was here. May I sure say, I bet you have my examples of LPP what a bemo. Almost so you understand. But the effect is the end. What happened in 2012? Where you're spending in excess of your budgetary allocation to the tune of over $4 billion. I know the Didi man is sitting on no about for ma. And no the Didi man you bought Bissia said the president kind. You really now a man to don't pay no. In other jurisdictions, what they do is that, for instance, even in US, and you're for campaign purposes, but there's a ceiling for borrowing. Say we are buying. Ukodum pepper. So be your mouth.
There's a threshold.
There's a threshold. You understand? You're crying in some way. Cry water. For instance, Bank of Ghana. In every year, in every financial year, you can't borrow from government more than 10% of their internally generated. But they are buying busu daily. As part of IMF for masters here, they are buying a better day. And know you're one of the major issues they have with Bank of Ghana. Say Yanka say Yamra no cry yendiso. I know your back home. Answer the nation and say Yenimra bia etisa. It may catch going forward. Say ya share na ya to me anye bibi. Now you're in discipline your one. Obi be dia buying. It's possible. Say Obi decided say in that election year no, Obi Bob is over 100 billion.
Just to win votes.
Just to make sure say he is retained in power. The effect of it is for all of us to see. In this year the Americans, so it is not just about Indum Eka. If there's a point in taking practical steps in bringing it down. Yes, I know. Why not? You understand? But especially where governments become very desperate, the money here worse than Kasa.
But you have a professional way of admitting so much more time, the more you be.
Oh, obviously. I don't think I do time, you know. And do a time, you know. We insist and say no government official should come to our rallies with state vehicle. We insisted. Do baby, you can say, wow, we are DC. Our person, we are parliamentary candidate, you know, resigned 2 years before I be a nomination.
It didn't work.
It worked.
It worked.
That created the problem. Okay, in the western region, your friend is saying, yeah, obey your first vice,
Binding
problem.
It worked.
Yeah, it worked.
Easy, right?
Easy. You understand? Until you are buying, you'll be faced with these things. But you must show in practical steps. It may even cost you. It may cost you. I bet you are going to lose elections now. But who per se, who to me, Emma, yeah, no put to obey. Not democracy in the anymore. You have no option, especially where there's no law. If there's no law, said okay, you have a fertilizer, yeah, mass law. You track one, yeah, say the law be ambra. Until if you feel that baby service, I will say no. I mean, I will say that baby service. I don't know. So baby service. Answer Ben, I
said no. Oh, besides, no. Cocoa Rose, you had no more Cocoa Rose. Yeah, we tell us rules. How can I say Cocoa Rose?
Yes, but you see, American. The MPP will continue to vindicate His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. We, dear Minu and I, it is a Wakasama Yura John Mahama Pepe. Ye dinatem, ye kasachre anyhow. Say, Wakase, one not dear. Say, election time drew on Shebinkum, and Shenifa, and overspend it. And then in the anything, they took the sentence out of context. So you join from so second. But Obia sabi for Masumwa and Yahoo. Obia we bademba. I would see some up upon the Kayan you appreciate the wisdom in what he said. So Debbie, me dear my bresono. Semre biano yebeko abatwa. Of course, yebetua ba uko community bia uye MPU. We are presidential candidate and one number demanded for development. We have to buy what various institutions and now say Ajumayefo ebe demanded increment in their salaries. And what the demand no ebe kosoro. And when say oh ya banya what can say okay samre no. Me dia menhwe binkum enhwe nifa me overspend dia. Na wasanka MPP NDC obia wo manmu no ye de ensa mienu bom ne bon sam ma ye John Dramani Mahama by then ye de ye no so what you say and so eya de a ye nyina ebiasi say no ankasa kan no ebiasi under the MPP ebiasi under the NDC because of course oko talency ye de ye typical example here me call talency before the by elections and me move through talency district no for some time because ye adwuma wo ho me who say most of the development of Mokana Mashasi. That whether that is the best place that even matter. But I went there as deputy minister.
Minister and I said,
Minister for yeah. I just said, and yet there who you are
there's a number even before telling.
Fortunately for me and unfortunately for you, I'm here myself. So I will explain.
But who's your part
I will explain. That's what I'm saying. Like, unfortunately for him, I can mean here. Go back and I will explain.
Which is also part of government.
No. Me Koi as deputy minister for lands and natural resources. Econograty district mining. So I took the opportunity to go to sites where illegal minings and those things are going on, and I met opinion leaders, stakeholders in small scale mining and what have you.
But by election, that's why crime say by me develop area one.
And I make or be person or Jim drink so I just say by election Baswa. For example, by my constituency and Nelson and make Kasachira, there are a lot of development going on. A lot ongoing. So what I say. It is a development ongoing. Not say ABI expedited action on it. For me, I don't see anything wrong with it.
When are you here?
Yes, expedited action on it.
So till the but for the by-election.
No.
I can pay it very slow.
Well, you can say that. You can say that. But the most important thing is that it's ongoing.
But for the by-election.
You can say that. I will not begrudge you on that point. But I'm saying that it is ongoing.
But my point is that before, for the by-election.
The third panel member, anyway.
Okay,
so, inti idea koso, and my expedited action on it. Me a lot of development are koso. So, inti for me need so much problems with it. And I did back on swap. Most especially MPP for can I not me yemu asheme. I want to say, and this if we di sikatuchuri die no mabudin. As if say you are John Dramani Mahama Kudin or Bole. The command abusia for so many. So, say, I buy a binu pre akatuan tumu, na buy the more. I Ghana for this can show bottom. So be here quine, Nasa buy koya, a Ghana quine no aye, and you read on the many Mahama Busia, and on their queen ye. So, obi here school dine, na buy kosi, school dine commanders, as day senior high school course echo. Inti, they will paint the picture as if say, ya chama party for. And a party fire then I could do. But a development.
Okay.
I won't marry. I would Nipana would trouble and pay you about of us would be. San Canyon ratification because of Mia district. A Yesica. Ah, Nipano, Ebia, or no so Obacofa hobby. So it's not as if say, I buy no a Disica beer, Sabi. Watch a man the party for an answer or the in the bush year. But the government is spending on the country, and I agree. Say about election periods are limited. I mean overspending, and that is exactly what His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has said.
John, so
I don't know what the praises. Well, that thing is you need to praise because me who be ordering praises for John Mahama in this matter.
And that's what he said. Oh, he disagree with me.
There's no going to overspend.
Because his words are different from action.
Exactly.
In August 2012.
My references.
No.
It's the first time he's going for an election, so give him that.
Is that the first time he's going for an election?
John, President.
I'm saying that. Okay, you continue. I'll make the point. I'll clarify.
In August 2012, I direct press conference.
I have
instructed. I've directed. I've commissioned. I've omissioned. I've said, I can't say. Or no, contrary to what has been happening over the years, or no, in an election year, he's not going to spend more than the budgetary allocation for the year. But that is the worst year. I mean, sometimes some of this sarcasm does not help. Obia ni wa akase road ABI no Jomama eko dis kind of bole. You know, Obia no akasa. But there are some expenditure between you and I no. For instance, who could do as we speak now, you can't locate one. For instance,
so maybe a mango,
if you want to do that, do that.
No.
If you want to do that,
I'm agreeing with you. I'm only agreeing with you.
Say if you want to do that. You understand?
It also happened. It's one of the examples. I was adding it to the examples.
But
maybe.
In election, now one company, woman no contract to rear guinea fowl. Now guinea fowl cannot be found where they said they are rearing. Yeah. The same company, woman a contract to supply over 100,000 computers.
RLG.
The same company.
Amba.
Jida report. You be provided over 100,000. eventually almost year audit just around 24,000 plus you provide you in advance.
Oh, yeah,
me see you sika in advance. Ah, nya ban we no tumi ka say metua manabro so bra ne entra dem ne enka wasa. Nya ban we. You understand? The year cano it's not about for productive purposes. It's about sika.
Hold on.
Wait, the idea. Me see you sika no manabro so to deliver, it did not deliver. And nothing na this is tried knowledge, everybody knows that. And nothing na and Japan is in the trans say every month for the last 2 years so you say every month omo agree say sika na etua mane bro so no every month on tua back say 14 point and you be see no tua back no be see no tua. These are the kinds of expenditure can effect on the economy. As to the rationalization of all these there, set them more example, no? And NDC is not going to be in power forever.
That's correct.
It will come to a time where the not I say not or came.
That's going to be a long time.
But also forever.
It can be 400 years.
Forever.
It can be 400 years.
But still, the time will come.
Because some go to about 500. You are the one. Who are the one? You are the one.
Are you able to explain to Ghanaians why I say Mutua will 1 year money negotiated payment? Why?
You know, sir, Gidan and somewhere by Obia ATB. To start with, let me clear the point, and I'm person make clear and I can say this is the first time, so that I can clear that. Then I'm person make as in the first time, and they say, Papa, I make a statement in this time. That's what you say. Into that, man, the benefit going into 2016. Near say statement na Papa ni make you know. Ebia wanye. That was the point I was making. Now, Gidans and somewhere by you know, ye say. Yeah, finding out Gida committee be who some with the contract be a microphone no more na emu enaho ama ebinumu po asempo di court as say America say ebinumu de eda ho court e pende nti sika na ekodi wo no mo no mo ka say omuntua enye necessary say ye tue sika na ma na abodo so per se but baby omu ye contract ne kodu ye bia because for example RG laptops here or council who several of them.
And please, some of the journalists had some.
Oh, Kando. My issue is you
know, make you say you're in Tiakama now more so per se. But the point is that you're more bisika so on your juma. What shall say all year juma? And as someone back, yes, one trace can back. That is it. That is it.
No, John, then you are attempting to.
That
is it. If the amount will be 100,000 copies. Near 20 man or they be at 24,000 copies. Is that the case?
Opa.
That is it. That is all. And yes, the amount scarce will be also 100 and the amount 200 scar. How can you do this? It's not true.
Maybe kind reports and to the extent that only say go for Galamsey youth in Galamsey. Operations
under his ministry.
Youth in Galamsey.
Small scale.
You even believe.
Small scale.
Youth in Galamsey.
No, but Minister
Galamsey, for your information, Galamsey is an illegality in this country. Small scale. Small scale.
Obisika say Fanko for no small scale man.
Aha.
Nipa in 2008 now nipa 1,000. Bosome Swan buying a tisika.
He has succeeded in changing the topic.
No, he has not.
He has succeeded.
He has not.
He has succeeded. He has changed the topic. I'm tempted to react to whatever he says.
But it helps your ministry.
I'm tempted.
Was I responsible to react to what you talking about? Yes, I see. Bosome Swan.
You debate your topic alone. I'll go there again. Because you debate it alone. Because
Bosome Swan is not buying artists, karma individuals. No, they cheer the workers. Only to go to an individual anafa. That is in 2011.
You have records.
He wants to debate the Gidan report. And I'm not ready to do. If you have time,
every month,
let's debate.
I buy Chiomoka say youth in small scale mining. Every month, my find part 2,000. But could be a 1 million. The 1 million, I bind this kind of private individual. No, almost to gold now. Besides, all the brab.
But some records. Okay. Some of your text messages. Some of your selected topics. Okay. It's not necessary to us as a country if only you don't have personal interest somewhere. Okay. Raman or Tachiman, please tell John he's my mentor. I need his number. I said I will not vote again, but thanks to him, myself and my wife will vote for the MPP, Fred Upper Dentra West. MPP has still not recovered from the terrible defeat of Telensi by-election. They grossly misunderstood the political environment of Northern region. They will continue misfiring until 2016 elections. I don't think Dumso politics has any merit to change the minds of the rural areas, let alone give them any votes or change the fortunes of MPP. They will continue to stay in opposition beyond 2016, inshallah. Alaji Willie P.F. Kuma Telensi has sent Nanado outside the country after the general. He will be sent to. No, okay. Omai, please tell the Kokobot CEO that the Samurai Boy Mumuni Camp, Koko Road, or Samurai Boy Mumuni Camp, Koko Road, Western is totally blocked. Koko cannot, therefore, be transported to the grading center. Alaji Isa. Kando, you are too much. Jomoro District loves you, and we will keep on loving you. Dolphin, half a sin, and please tell the MPP man I am a pastor, and since I have been praying and organizing people for NDC because of the love I have for Haile Idrisu and JJ, but now I will work for MPP because of this gentleman. He talks slowly and gentle. John, I don't think MPP is ready to win 2016. You don't have to say all this on air. And my name is Thomas from... Mr. John Bodu, you are too good a leader. You are telling the truth. May God bless you. I thank you. Please ask MP for Jabosom what happened to light pole project at Jabosom.
Light pole project. Then it be light pole project. There's nothing like light pole project.
Another Musisi in Kenya.
No. Yeah. Jabosom the project BI shall say. Before the idea before elections, about 90% is completed.
Okay, we are wrapping up. 0302211701 up to 4. That's good. We can pick about 3 calls. Then we say thank you for joining us on this session. 0302211701 up to 4. Ministries for so all the ministries. Because both is here. Both the name call for your Zoom in a example. Ministry for telling us you're enjoying the program. So ministries for Moshe supposed to work for Mother Ghana.
I'm say Saturday by na
time.
But Johnson, finance you dey baby.
Everybody the chop on west side. Masoya Matia. Man there. Meet your constituency. Okay. Saturday I'm say yeah pa no money na no mo Muslim for no. Yeah. Yebeba na no be di no ma na fe nti omo hwe anim na yenyina eba beka ho dwumasom ma ye over the 1 month no yenyina eba bebo mu chidom na ye di ma na fe nti weekends so yebeba fie.
I'm being told to tell you say a Pristia Huni Valley illegal mining cost, if you are not aware. I say okay. 0302211701 up to 4 over to me and they will call a brain because the lucky Hema clinic for us a Joada copy me fiada honestly as well question kwa ya did the Obokata a Tiffy in Pension Mono bro you be pay one Simon and I before so abeto and he ever caught that. John, what do you call your wrap-up comments? Any comment?
Oh, the American say, me GD say, talency experience no. About boy ye pa. We share the kind of model I did to for campaign.
Is a pump action AK-47. Joe.
Oh, I know. The NDC chairman, AK-47 Nana.
NDC chairman bia NDC chairman bia one fa AK-47
police seize AK-47 from him.
Me
say I can give you police
it is not true. It is not true. Say it is not true. Even acknowledge whilst you are even on the platform, you take much about you are refusing to tell.
You are kind of crying West.
And even if that is West, even if that is West, that is not what the person says.
How can a citizen of this country, at what point can any citizen of this country request national security and providing a security man in his car?
Sorry, party chairman.
It is not done.
And so that means say even if that is the case, let's even assume without admitting. Assuming without admitting that they won't care. That means that AK-47 people to himself.
Only duty.
With all respect.
Only duty.
With all respect.
And these are the now trying to car now you see, these are the kinds of things that for some of
invisible forces in it.
Wrap up.
Me di show. I am kwa me kasa pena.
You kasa dey wa be lose in 2012. You nyina na 2016. Another kabi.
Money wrap up.
But you share lesson. How this share lesson?
Money wrap up.
Me das.
Amen.
The thing say you put energy about even half of the grassroots campaign a year or Talencia, which very soon there be a program for regional training, constituency training. The announcement very soon, and some of these experiences, and our relationship with other stakeholders in the constituency. On the ground, sometimes people are poised more than you can even think about some of the leaders.
I agree.
You understand? See, me so be going to be uncle be bomb pie my dear me do. But what uncle be out here now? Who sending bombs? No, dear. Bombs, no. Bombs, no. Two mum, but it's say he did look ready, and party interest, so the response is baby or member. But they may caution and say, the TBR me nipa.
Is there a general secretary in National Chairman?
That is not for you to ask. You don't do questioning on this program. No, you don't do questioning on this program. No, you don't.
Please permit me to.
No, John, Mr.
General Secretary in National Chairman.
Oh, maybe some question. The question
is
no. If you don't want to answer, that's okay.
Okay, if
you don't want to answer, that's fine.
My obo chairman so the now
oh no, can't somebody we are supposed to educate the people.
Police sees AK-47.
If I'm part of the panel, I should be able to clear it. Massa, even on that same platform now, all come. What you say? I will not cry. I allude to the fact to be a national security personnel. Any kind of cry AK-47 no. Now say obi abeka say ye papa no and as a chairman and cry AK-47 no obi and I have heard on the Kosi say interview with the police commander all can say there was a national security person, was a security personnel. No, create you. I listened to it myself on the program. I've forgotten the name actually. But yes, it's a you can find out.
Okay. Honorable Deputy Minister.
I have forgotten.
Honorable Deputy Minister.
I'm telling you, authority. No police commander can come and deny what I'm saying. So to anybody there, I'll challenge the police commander.
Can you say?
I'm telling you on authority.
Oh, there may be a friend. Oh, you're Buddhist and our traditionalists.
I'm shocked. Can say what you are saying.
I'm shocked.
Okay, so go and do your homework on this one. Dark Klaus over NDC. Dark Klaus over NDC in 2016. MMDC used to cause parties defeat. Go and do your investigation on that. On that note, that's it.
And I better how, with all respect to party people, especially constituency people, no. Say, be say better never be the near chair and that kind of thing. but one here you also get problems.
Now
because masa which I say option prem to asim option prem to asim but I won't do it.
Yes.
Who body papa could do.
Okay.
No, I'm obedient. Okay. That is the challenge we have.
Okay. And I'm body papa could me body order. Very odi ayongo. Matiao. And that's we don't come. Don't body be that CP. So that's why Deputy Minister.
But more no, many na age ma.
But yeah, you know.
Some of the comments are more, especially me and Kasami Aba.
Don't we?
No. Me Aba Abeshi.
Nana, yeah.
Sometimes, Ebia, I grow no dear.
That is what some buy. Number one. Oh,
make your point there.
Emmanuel, who's a comfort because Ebia, almost 7 anymore.
Yes,
it's the same station. Na bibi bana ya bisame na mo kana say say oh abana wo kan but the impression it creates out there because I know for instance a lot and I decided
Nana ya any news
sorry for the inconvenience but we are still partners
in the minimum kit already.
Okay, so Ajumale Sanete, we thank you. So I'll draw your attention. I'm sure say they be there I can't because you need a bit of protection because you are a guest. Yeah, that was so.
I know. So I prefer no afro. I try to have a program.
Okay, yes, yeah, that's what I say. Now I prefer it.